Alright then, welcome everyone. This is my third stream and this will be the third part of our current project. Well then, I hope everybody has had a good day or night wherever you are, and we will continue where we left off. Alright, so the last time we worked on the joints. Let's see. Yeah. No, we worked on this one, that's right. Yeah, this is the last one we worked on. Okay, so this is correct as is. Let's see. Yeah, we got pretty much. We have almost everything set up. Oh, that's right. That's why I never cut. Okay. Alright, let me take a good look at the layers. Okay, so we are missing a few ones here that need to be colored. Alright, let me change the color of the tail at least. Let's see. We could go for... No, let's go lower than that. Yeah, that should work. Alright then. Alright, so this time around we're gonna do... No, we can't do that just yet. Because we gotta change more than half... Okay, not more than half of this, but some of this needs to change. Alright then, so how do we go about... Oh wait, don't worry, I know how to fix this. We should be able to... Because this is not... It's not gonna be exactly this. This is gonna change. Unless... Okay. You know what? Let's turn that off for now. Let's focus on the very last segment here. Yes, we'll work on this for now. Because I actually forgot about that very important detail. Oh wait, what? Okay, no, it is the correct line. Okay, I guess that's how it's gonna be then. Alright, there we go. If I'm not mistaken, okay, yeah, I'm gonna need to do this one specific. Ooh, nope, wrong, nope. Okay, now this should be working. This is actually working much better than the other pair of legs. I'm not kidding. You know what? Alright, there we go. That's gonna be that tangent specifically. Oh. Okay. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. Copy yes. And now I'm just gonna have to redo that all over again. Actually, I don't have to. There we go. The one that I do have to copy. Oh! Oh my god, that scared me. Oh, hello. Doctor. Oh, Mira! Welcome! How have you been? Hopefully you've had a much better week than I have. Holy shit, I need to get used to that sound effect. Yeah, unfortunately for... Nah, you're fine. You are fine. Unfortunately, unless I can get affiliate, there won't be any channel points. Unfortunate. But, yeah, it is what it is. Okay, that is weird. Why is it not copying it? Rotate. Copy, yes. Wait, what? Channel read? Yeah, but I need to get affiliate before that. Okay, there we go. It actually copied what I wanted. Now I can select this one. And now see exactly, there we go. As close as we can get it. There. That should do it. By the way, I am still working on that model. I have not forgotten. Alright, let me get rid of this one. We should be fine as is. Other than that, alright, so mobility there is as it should be. Let's see if this should be more or less a good spot. Okay, there we go. Select that. Rotate. This time we don't. Yeah, okay. Select all of that. And this time. Okay, so it just decided to copy it regardless. Anyhow. Oh. What? Okay, that's why it did it. No copy. Select that. Point. This. And there. We should be fine. We should be fine now. Delete all we don't need. And that's perfect. Yeah, to get the channel redeems, you need to first get affiliate. So that's not gonna happen for a little bit. Okay, this is actually not as invasive as the ones on the frontal legs. These ones are horrendous. It is what it is though. But this is looking pretty damn good. These ones on the other hand, what do I do with them? A few things here are gonna have to change, and drastically, unfortunately. Alright, let's do something else instead. That line over there should do fine. This one is gonna be an outlier. Interesting, this wasn't even where it was supposed to be to begin with. You know what? That's fine. That is absolutely fine. You know what? Sure. We rotate this. Actually, hold up. Let's look for a tangent for... Oh, perfect. That's a tangent. We leave it there. Okay, maybe not. You're fine, Mira. You're fine. Let's see. Where are the... Forgot about... What? Oh, never mind. That's what happened. No, this is not the one I'm looking for. There we go. Oh my god, I still can't believe this is as horrible as it looks. You know what? No, let me go and take one last look at this. So that's that. Okay. Alright then. You know what? Let's go look for yet another tangent. Am I selecting everything? No, it didn't select everything I needed. Now I know it did. Let's see, one final tangent. It doesn't look like it's gonna let me find one. Alright, if it's not gonna let me find a tangent, I'll just make one of my own. That's it. This, on the other hand, it's gonna have to change. I just realized. Alright, let's leave these ones here. Nope, I need at least one more guideline. There we go. Center of that one, center of that one. There we go. Actually, now that I remember, Mira, have you been experiencing any weird weathers by any chance? Oh, that's probably not gonna work for this one either. I might have to change that too. I know there's been a lot of people dealing with a lot of extreme cold. I hope everybody is doing fine given the circumstances. Keeping warm, staying safe. I just realized this was probably a mistake. But for what I need, it doesn't really matter. Alright, there we go. So we can rotate this as well. There we go, we got everything exactly where it belongs. Now I can switch up a few things here. That's more like it. And I already know this is gonna give me exactly what I'm looking for. That works as is. We can place it like that. You know what? Sure. Alright, and that's that leg. Now this one needs to change. Actually, hold up. Front legs. Okay, so they're almost the exact same, but they're not gonna be the same for long. Hold up. Switch back to default. Alright. Let's hide that leg. We don't need it anymore. We actually don't need the image anymore at this point. Alright, same deal. Oh, it selected the all of that as okay. That's a problem. That's actually, it's not that much of a problem. There we go. I can just turn this off and it's gonna work regardless of whatever I change here. And using that as a base, I can just get rid of this. Okay, let me see. Any other? Nah, this section is necessary for what we need. Alright, so rotate this. Oh, I just noticed that. Now this should exactly, now this works. Taking one more look at this. You know what? Nah, let's go back a little bit. Let's back this up. All the way there. And this might actually have to change. This, yeah, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable change for all I've done up to this point. No, that's not what I should do. Okay, that point can go. Alright, after all of this is done, I should be able to start working on the next part, this whole project. Let's see what else we can do here other than this. Let's see. Alright, that's done. There we go. And this segment here, that works fine. Not 100% accurate. You know what? Yeah, that. I'm gonna have to undo that again. That thing. Nope. No, we're not going to undo that. That's not 100% necessary. What is necessary is keeping this in line. Actually, no. This is a mech. This is a mecha dog. We don't need to. We need to torture ourselves with this. Alright, that's one. That's two. Get rid of the extra. Ooh, that was supposed to be there, locked. Alright, now I shouldn't have any mistakes. You know what? I might actually need this as a base. There we go. Now then, if I select all of this and now rotate, there we go. Now I got a base for what I need. Alright, that's one. And that's two. Alright, there we go. So now that's done. Alright, let's see. Alright, we have. Ooh, that's right. We need to work on the torso and the rest of the head. Alright, let's turn this one off for now. I don't understand how that happened. Doesn't matter. But now we can change to later, and there we go. Now we can just get rid of everything we don't need, and that's that. And this should, yeah, okay, yeah, this a pro. Okay, it's not 100% a problem. Never mind. It is a problem. Yeah, this is a problem. This should not have happened. So this leg is supposed to be longer regardless. And this is actually no, this joint is gonna make a change regardless, so there really isn't nothing for me to worry about. We're actually fine as is. I just gotta change it up enough to have more mobility. Alright, Control S, so this is saved. Let's see, is there anything else that I'm missing? Aside from the torso in this section here. Oh, I shouldn't have deleted that. Now I see what happened. I shouldn't have deleted that. Alright. There we go. And there we go. There we go. Wrong layer. Perfect. Actually, hold up. Okay, I see. You know what? Yeah, this works. What? Why are you telling me to select the control points? Weird. Okay. Alright. No matter. This works for what we need. I could dim this out a little bit, or okay, so no, this isn't stretched out entirely either, but this still works for what it is. I can add a lock. I can add one lock here. Perfect, exactly, there we go. Adding that there. I can't do it here per se, or maybe I could. It works here for now, but this is gonna change eventually. Alright, using this as a guide. There we go. Just to make sure that it works. Actually, no. Not fully. Not fully there yet. Alright. There you go. If we need to remove material from this later, we can just do so. We don't have to. It's better to remove than to add to it. There we go. So that's gonna be there no matter what happens. Here on the other hand, okay. Oh, wait a minute. No, I already did that. Actually, if that is the case, no, it's not gonna work for this one. Whoops. Wrong layer. I'm right about this. Perfect, that's a good tangent there. Here, on the other hand, there really isn't anything I can do for this one. Because like this one just shoots. No, it actually cuts. This one cuts there. So there really isn't anything I can do about it. Yeah, that works fine. Control save. Now, what am I gonna do with you specifically? Then again, we do have a lot of work. This still hasn't been concluded yet. Alright. Moving to the torso layer. Like, it really doesn't matter what I try here. This thing is gonna... Actually, no. It does matter, and I have to figure out a way to make it work. Object 10. So that's there. But if we move this... What? Excuse me? Oh, that's why it wasn't working. There we go. I don't know how that happened. Okay, it moves by that much. Separate that again. Move that almost over there. Alright, let's see now by how much can I actually... There we go. That's the tangent we're looking for. Rotate this one more time. Somewhat. Nope, not all the way. There, that should be enough. Okay, that rotates quite a bit. This is actually good. This works pretty damn well. Alright, that's a tangent. Actually, no. That's not how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it like that. Let's see. Alright. Perfect, that should be working fine. This, on the other hand, doesn't have a... It has way too much. Has too much of a gap. So I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, change that line. Sorry about that. Oh. This is sadly gonna have to oh wait, intersection. Okay, let's see how much that got affected by. Let's see by how much. Hopefully it's not. Ooh. Okay, that's not too bad. Alright, return that back to where it was. Alright, so that's one bit. And now we gotta make another. Hopefully this isn't too much. Come on, just give me the tangent. Nope, you're not going to? There we go. Okay, that's good enough. Perfect. That works just fine. Okay, so we have most of this done. Damn, I'm falling asleep like oh hell. Let me see, is there something? Yeah, we're missing a lot here. Hold up a second. Get rid of that. Oh, that is perfect. That actually did what I needed to do. Perfect. This is still going to be a little bit on the rough side. Trim it, join, move. Hopefully this works. Oh wait a minute, you're actually kidding me. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I see. Okay, so I actually cannot use this as is. There's a problem. If this is not, there we go. Now it's in the tangent. If this is not in a tangent, it's actually gonna affect the mobility, even if it's just by a couple of millimeters. There we go. This thing is not in the tangent either, is it? Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, you're kidding me. It just went through, and I can already tell that this is nowhere near a tangent, and it's not even giving me the option. Okay, I guess that's safe enough for this one. Get rid of that one. There we go. We don't need that anymore. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I can't even do that there. I just realized that's not gonna work there. This joint is completely different. It has to be completely different. Okay, this isn't bad. Alright, this isn't bad. So that's that joint. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna have to make at least one more change. Oh, we gotta change a bunch of other stuff here on the head as well. Okay, so we're actually not finishing as fast as I thought we were. Alright, calm down. We can slowly edit this to what we need. Alright, first thing, you know what? Addressing this one here first should be the trick. We have that there. Alright, this could probably stay as is. Actually, let's see if, nah, that can stay as is. This is already big enough as is. We can now, let's switch here to that layer. There we go. Alright then, since we have that now. Yeah, I'm probably working at this a bit too much. However, that's that intersection. Okay, so then that's that intersection. And this is still extremely bulky. This one is gonna rotate around it, that axis. But here's the thing. This is no longer gonna be there. This is gonna be over here now. Or okay. No, that's still a big what if. Yeah, that's still a big what if. This is still gonna be a very delicate joint to make it work. How am I gonna do it for this one specifically? Then again, I've worked with smaller joints. You know what? Sure, I have worked with smaller joints. Alright, let's do something here. Maybe, just maybe, no. Alright, so nah, that isn't gonna work, and I don't make ball joints, so that's not gonna work either. And we still haven't made the tail yet. Okay, do you know what? Let me get rid of one minor detail. Put one minor detail out of the way. So that's more or less how these ones are done. Select that. Slightly more there. So now this one can go down like that. Getting rid of that one, showing it the first one. You know what? Yeah, that's more or less what we're working with. Actually, you know what? Oh yeah, that works. This works perfectly. I am finding this to be a little bit on the small side. So let's fix that. Alright, that's perfect. Alright, so we're saving that for now. Alright, let's see. That should be fine. I can work the other details later. Let me see. This is, yeah, this is perfect as is. Alright, this is gonna be a mech. So we really don't need all of that detailing. Nor do we need... We really don't need this to be that bulky, do we? Oh, they didn't even... Oh my god, this thing doesn't even have a neck. I would actually do better if I base it off of a Liger instead of this one. Hold up a second, let me just look for a... Okay, Liger 0. Liger 0. Model kit, there we go. I just want to look at it, at its joints. Come on, just give me... Ah, so that's what it's using. Okay. Oh wait, this actually... Let's see... Fine. I was afraid of that. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Okay, let me at least see if... Kinda don't like all of that, but still... Damn. So even the liger has that type of neck. Obviously that thing is far better articulated. Okay, so it's really not giving me that much of a detail. Okay, so I didn't actually found what I wanted to find. So I'm just gonna have to improvise. So we're gonna get rid of all of that. I'm gonna try to do something different. So that's a tangent. Alright, so I know this is more or less more of the same, but this should work in theory. If I'm right about this, this should work. Oh no, not again. Give me the tangent, please. Please give me the tangent. No. Alright, I'll just have to eyeball it. Because what else am I supposed to do? Okay, over here this can be slightly different. Just slightly. Alright, and there is that tangent. We can add a little bit of armor here later. We don't have to do it now, fortunately. Alright, so that one will go up, that one will go down, and in the middle of this, somewhere in the middle here, that's perfect. That's gonna rotate either clockwise or counterclockwise right there. That's absolutely perfect. We're just gonna have to figure out exactly at what point. And I should at least make one here for... Oh no. Okay. Okay. What exactly do we do? Okay, never mind. It doesn't have to be in the middle here. Somewhere. Okay, everything's gonna depend on this section here. Damn it. So regardless of what I do, there's still gonna be a bit of a hiccup. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. How am I gonna do the neck joints here? a minute. Hold up. Hold up. No. There's another way to fix this. There's an... Or never mind. There maybe is no way to fix it because regardless, the connection is gonna be there specifically. Because of the bone structure and everything. Okay. No, there's no need for... But still, keeping some anatomy. Alright, you know what? Move it slightly there. And, well... Can copy this one here. Rotate it. And because it's completely different, it's noticeable. So, you know what? Nah. Let's save this one. We might still use it. I do wonder if this could work. Okay, whatever happened there, I have no idea. Alright, scale, copy, yes. Nope, I can't. Not yet. I need that little piece of... There we go. If I'm right about this. So that's the point I was looking for. There we go. Get rid of that line. And now we can scale. Copy. And there we go. Which is still not quite gonna work. I mean, sure, I'll figure something out. Alright, let's see by how much. Oh, wait a minute. Are you telling me that I didn't have to cut that? Hold up. Oh. Oh, never mind. I actually do. I actually do. Let's see by how much is it gonna affect. Okay, so so it doesn't affect when it goes like that. Yeah, it doesn't matter how we spin it, this is still going to affect. So I might as well as just unfortunate. And because that part is still there, not looking for the tangent this time. Why would it be doing that? Why the heck would that thing give me a tangent there? Alright, so that worked. For now, at least. Let's see something else here. Alright. That works as is. Not too sure what to do here, but I gotta figure something out, and I gotta figure out something quick. Got more than half of it done. Maybe it's the torso itself that's the problem. You know what? Sure, yeah, it's probably the torso itself. And if I'm right about this, you know what? I'll take it. Let's do like that for now. Well, repeater. We don't need that right there. You know what? Sure. Let's wrong layer. Let's add. Yeah, sure. Let's add that there. Can give him more dimensionality. Perfect. Now, yeah, but I'm still running into the same problem. So move there, rotate here, move there. It should be rotating at the base, not here. Having a second rotation there wouldn't be bad, but still, it's just not gonna work for how small this is. I could try to make a ball joint, but that just wouldn't work. So now what do I do? So regardless of what I do, it's still a problem. Okay, let me start doing something else instead. Okay, so if that's gonna be difficult, what's this? What am I doing? So that's more or less what would be consumed at that piece. And if that's the case, then that piece cannot go like that. Rotate from this section. What? I said rotate from this piece. Crap. Okay. New plan. Nope, not enough. This should do it. If I'm correct, that is right. Distance 1/4? Really? Okay. So 1/4 inches. That's actually not that bad. So this is actually not as small as I thought it was gonna be. Okay, but how? Okay, so if that's how that's gonna be, that's one joint for up and down, another joint for up and down, rotation at that axis. But I still need at least one more pivot point. And there's no way I can work it here. Or actually no, I can. I actually can. Since this is no longer as small as I thought it was gonna be, we can try one more thing. placing this on the very edge of the joint. Again, not perfect. We're not looking for perfect here. Just good enough. Actually, we can actually get away with far more than this. We can easily get away with far more than this. And if I'm correct about this, yeah. Okay, this isn't as doomed and gloom as I originally thought. But I still need to be careful with this. Alright, so that's gonna be one more joint. Oh no, that's right, I have that access point. I have the rotation point there. So this just cannot pivot there. Oh wait, no, what the hell am I saying? Yes, it can. Yes, it absolutely can. The arms just need to be like right there. So we have the joint here connecting to this one here. There we go. That's it. That's all we needed. I just gotta make it work. Alright, so let's see. So the joint connected to the torso connects to this one here, and vice versa. Excuse me. Alright, that's it. Alright, so we have it now. We have figured it out. This joint, however, this is actually gonna have to be lower. So we lower it over here. This is gonna switch a little bit there, or actually, no, wait up. No, it is going to affect if I do another change. Yeah, because it doesn't rotate from underneath. It has that arc right there. This is its point. If it's not here, it should be somewhere around here. I could be wrong about this, but okay. It should be an arc like that. So this could potentially be its pivot point somewhere around here, if I'm not mistaken. But that's already deviating. That's already deviating a lot. Yeah, that's probably not the correct. Yeah, that doesn't work. This is a Mac. What am I thinking? could that joint end up looking? How's that joint gonna end up looking? Could probably be... Alright, let's work with this slowly. We can just use this as a base for now. This is gonna change eventually. So this and this can have the same width. This one, on the other hand, cannot. Can you just give me the freaking... Okay. There we go. This is not the best option currently, but it is what it is. And actually, this might actually be the best way to do it. So, more or less... Crap. Alright. Mirror there. And I can't believe I forgot to put this on. Much better. Because of course I forget to do that. Hold up. How do I change this again? Manager. Where there's supposed to be Alright, there we go. That should have done it. Okay. That should be that. Actually, I need to check one more thing. Alright, I'm back. This is a possibility for how that joint could end up looking. It's not set in stone, but it's the most probable one. Let me see if I'm right about this joint, that I could actually duplicate it. No. Because it shouldn't be duplicated in that manner. Oh, this still doesn't look good. Okay then. Never mind. Let's do something else though. I can just copy. And hopefully this ends up working. Perfect. That being said, nah, that joint isn't gonna work like that. I have no idea, but I'm gonna make this work one way or another. I'm gonna make this work. Actually, I already have what I need here. Right there. And that's it. What? Oh, that's right. This isn't 100% there. It's not gonna be like that. Okay. Get rid of that. So that's the center. Okay. Okay. Doesn't matter. This is still gonna work at the end of all of this. This is still gonna work. At least I hope it works at the end of it. This needs to work somehow. Let's see. It doesn't work with... Oh. Well, shit. Anyhow, we already got a lot of progress. Let's make the remainder of this count. Okay, so that's center. Oh, okay then. Just like that. Okay, so that piece is gonna be there. I can get rid of that. This is gonna be a huge piece no matter what I do. So let's do something else. Even if I had to change more than half of this. Whoops. Okay, get rid of that. Actually, we have a new centerpiece. Does it break the... no, it does not. Okay. Remember, I don't need to be one-to-one with the image because it's not even itself a one-to-one. The joints, on the other hand, do need to be a one-to-one. This needs to work one way or another. Okay then. Wait, what the? Let's see, is there something else that I'm missing? No. We more or less have this figured out. Okay, I already see another problem. This is gonna collide with that. Can't have that happening. Okay, I might actually have to make this smaller, unfortunately. But this is still going to work. This is gonna work. This is gonna work out one way or another. Oh, okay. left pondering for ages. This is so gonna be bad for my mental. Okay, maybe one more. The thing is that that joint shouldn't be there. That joint specifically shouldn't be there. That's the problem. But what if... What if I do this instead? This is completely different. And it should fix both problems. Oh, wait. What the f... Center of that thing. Exactly. Aiming for this. That's perfect. This doesn't break anything if I do it like this. I can shrink this one more time. Nah, screw it. I'll just work on this from the very center. And it breaks again. Okay. So it worked there, but now it doesn't work. Okay. Technically speaking, it didn't even work there. So I'm just gonna go with my gut and just do as is. Let's see. So I lose one spot regardless of what I do here. Damn. If it's not on this side, then it doesn't work on the other side. Alright. We're gonna do this differently. Oh, that's horrendous. This neck joint is just gonna make me go mental. I did say I was gonna make this work somehow, so I'm gonna make it work somehow. Come on. The logic still applies. Just gotta... Come on. Doesn't have to be all the way. But from this point forward, it's gotta be. Off of... You know what? Nope. I'm just gonna do with this as is. That's it. Alright, this should... No, not yet. Okay. I see what I did here. I see what I did there. This should have been backwards. This should... Actually, no it doesn't. But this shouldn't be there either. This, it should be done. Okay, can you just stop giving me the... You know what? No, kinda have to end. Damn, it actually has to end there. And I'll show just why that has to be it. So that's good enough. Something else. Alright, so we finally have this figured out. We have this figured out. Yeah, we actually do. be somewhat. No, I don't have it figured out. So it turns out I actually never had it figured out. That's insulting. Okay, no, calm down. Calm down. Get rid of that. Okay, if this is the whole issue, just get rid of the whole thing. Unfortunate that we had to get to this point, but okay. Now I know what to get rid of. This tiny piece of, yeah, okay. So if this is the case, and that's it, we gotta figure it out. Since the rotation is over here, it's not gonna affect this, it's not gonna affect anything here, and the joint in the neck stays as is. This can just be somewhat of a hollow piece. Alright, we have everything figured out. Finally, and it almost only took me like 3 hours to figure out. Oh, never mind. Somewhat of an hour. It's fine. For what I'm working with, this is perfect. This works perfectly. I don't need that line anymore. The rest of the joint is going to be somewhere around here. So again, it's not gonna affect. The rotation, okay, the up and down should be somewhat here, realistically. But I'm not gonna torture myself with that anymore. And in the case of the torso, we can change it somewhat enough. So the connection could be more or less there. This is more or less here. So realistically, this could end up looking somewhere here, yeah, somewhere there, depending on how I execute this. This might be more or less what we're ended up with, but this is always subject to change. So there really isn't that much of a guarantee. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I'll take a little bit of a break and then I'll be back. Alright then, I'm back. Now then, let's continue with this. There should be something. Okay, let me just turn that off. Alright, let's see. There should be other stuff that we can do here. What am I talking about? You know what? Sure, let's... You know what? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine as is. At that point, this is fine. We don't need to torture ourselves with this. Oh. Okay. Perfect. It should be somewhere around this section here. So I'm actually gonna have to leave even more hollow parts there. It's fine. That's fine. We can deal with that as we move along. Is there anything more that we can do? Again, what am I talking about? I'm not gonna lie, I'm very tired at this point. It's been a bit of a long day. Correction, a bit of a long week. It's not been an easy week by any means. Not by any means. There we go. Alright. So rotation here, up and down, 360 rotation here. So we're good here. Up and down rotation here, up and down rotation here, and we're pretty much set. No. Wrong. There we go. Actually, I think I can split this. Wait, this would. Okay. All right. Okay, that's for. And there we go. So if I you know what? Sure, I can try and look for a tangent here. That's a not a tangent. Come on, give me the tangent. Object tangent, please. I keep forgetting how to use this program. Okay, I'm just gonna have to eyeball it, I see. There. Happy? Select that and that. Get rid of this one. And we pretty much have the perfect. There we go. We got all we need. Because from this point forward, this is one of our neck joints now. We kinda don't need this, but we kinda do. Okay, let's just set the limit for the joint to be there. And I think we can just do this one here. No, not quite. But it did give me a tangent because of that. Perfect, we can just leave that there. And there's the other part of the neck joint. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. The rest of this will be hollow. We can hollow up a few parts here after it's been said and done. But overall, this section here is almost done. It's almost done. Almost. We're not done yet. We're not completely done yet. Because the rest of the joint has to go here. This is the problem. How am I gonna set this up completely? And I didn't even join that. Oh. We can do this like so. We can do that. We can do it like so. No matter what happens here, this is gonna work. This is gonna work 100%. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I saw something that I didn't want to see, but I had to see it. I actually needed to see that. That little bit of an issue. Because I kind of wanted to. Okay. Nope. No, I made up my mind. It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be like this. The problem is how much is the width gonna increase because of this? Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I gotta fix that. Oh no. Oh no, how much is it gonna take from this? Okay, as long as it's not too much. Okay, that should be one piece. That's one part. That's one part. We can work with this. I can work with this. Okay. And because let's be real, I can just scale this because I can. Get rid of, well, I don't need anymore. That's a tangent there. Sure. And there we go. Problem solved. Problem solved, right? Problem solved, right? Okay. Problem not solved. Okay. We're gonna have to make a few more changes here. Unfortunate. But it's gonna work. It's gonna work. This is the last one. This is the last change. This is the last change. It doesn't matter. This is the last change. It has to be the last change. Right? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Select this. And if I'm right... Oof. Mega wrong. That didn't work. At all. It's gonna have to be there instead. So this is gonna have to be the new tangent, and the joint. No, remember. Okay, this time around the hollow part is gonna be over here. Okay. Come on, this is it. We're on the last hurdles at this point. These are the last hurdles. So we should be fine at this stage. So I'm just gonna have to do this by eye. Beautiful. perfectly there. So this is fine as is. This is the joint we needed. And thanks to that, this new one is gonna be more solid. So that's tangent. And this one, well, that one is what it is. Perfect. This could be a little bit too much, but that should do it in theory. Let me see. Right. Okay. All right. Right. Let's just select this. Join it. Technically, we don't need this section here, but I am gonna need that section there, or I could just shrink it enough you know what, screw it, get rid of this part. We're not gonna need it, and we're not gonna need this either. All we need is this. Placing it there could be enough. Just shrink it a little bit more. There we go. That's the joint. That connects there. And it pivots side to side. This rotates up and down. 360-degree rotation here. Up and down, up and down. We're done. We are so done with this. I am so done with this. Is this gonna work though? See, any other surprises? No. Alright then. Here's the thing, I could keep the old one. I could most definitely keep the old one. Select everything here. And hopefully, still just what I chose, so we work with this as much as we can. There we go. Rotate this, put there, and it works. It works as it should. Perfect. Now then, get rid of what we don't need anymore. And there we go. There we go. We have all of the joints sorted out. Or there were at least more than half of them. The torso is done. I'm not gonna touch it anymore. The neck is done, which is what... Oh my god, this was complicated as all hell. I could try and give it claws. I could try and give it some claws. Let's see... Does this do it? Yeah. Not claws, but paws. So no claws. I just gotta make some indentations here and there. More like seam lines, honestly. Oh my god, speaking of seam lines, what the heck? Oh my god, that's a wicked seam line. Brother, oh my god, the number. What's with that number? Oh my god. Oh, you're kidding, right? They didn't even try. Then again, this is old as hell. I shouldn't... That's a horrible number. They couldn't even be bothered to clean it up. But if that's not meant to be a number and it's part of the design, I apologize. Otherwise, this was horrendous. Wait, is that their attempt at making the nose? Was that really their attempt at doing that? I'm not gonna lie, this looks more like a wolf than a German Shepherd. This looks more like the head of a wolf, honestly. If that thing was based off of that, of this, then doesn't really look the part. Front legs, maybe I could... Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's perfect. As for this, that joint could more or less... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to change this slightly to make it work. But let's see if I'm right for... Oh my god, I didn't even look for the tangent on this one. That's unfortunate. Oh, and it goes all the way through. Okay. Yeah, this is not a good look. Oh my, that's atrocious. And if I move this, I risk losing what we already made here. That's a big no-no. That's a big no-no right there. Here's the thing though. There's a good chance that I could make that one change and it might just do, and it just might be even better. There's one more change I could do. It wouldn't... No, remember, this is not a one-to-one. This is not a one-to-one, but it does help me for the rest of the things that I need to do later. So yeah, this works. Alright then. Okay, I'm going to attempt to make one final change with these legs. Oh, we never finished this, did we? Okay. Okay, so the big change is gonna happen somewhere here. Actually, no, just select the whole thing at that point. Because we can try to move this. Somewhat there. And try to move it somewhat here, so it, there we go. Alright, and because I already tested that, it should work regardless of this specific change. Let's see. Okay, that's a good chunk of it. That's a bit of a good chunk there. Okay, there we go. It's still not enough. Honestly, nah, I'm gonna, yeah, let's just keep what we already have. Let's not overcomplicate it. This is already complex as is. Worst comes to pass, I just move this. It's that simple. There, so that joint is as it should be. And now we just gotta make sure that this joint works as it should. Okay, then that's actually perfect. Hold up. Yeah, that's perfect. That's working as it should. So we can hollow the rest of the leg for the joint here. And as for this one, yep, we should be able to oh, wait a minute. Whoops. That's right. We still need to fix this one regardless. We still need to fix this one. This specific one needs to, you know what? Yeah, screw it. We're gonna make this one go slightly downwards. And for some reason I feel that this is just not working. here, here. Here and there we go. So we can get rid of that. And it turns out I touched the incorrect line. Okay, so using that as a guide, we can actually make this work now. Placing that there, and now moving somewhat around. Somewhere around there. That unfortunately changes everything. Right, let's just rotate this thing one more time. Okay, never mind. Actually, you know what? No, we actually can't do that. Okay, so that's gonna be locked there. This is unfortunately gonna have to change. Okay, this is so it's just decided not to cooperate right now. Alright. No, I deleted the wrong one. Alright, deleted that one. And this one. You know what? We're gonna work on this one from scratch. Because this just ain't working as it should. It's not working as it's supposed to. Okay, why did that not even work? There we go. That. You know what? This works fine. This works fine. This works fine. This works. This works. This is fine. This is fun. Ah. So that's what I can do there. Hopefully. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna have to test this. Whether I like it or not. This is probably unnecessary. Why do I feel like something wrong? Something very wrong happened here. You know what? Nah, I don't care. I don't care. Now I'm starting to think that I should have cared. Because why, oh why, would I have allowed that to happen? It's just one little issue after another. But we're fixing this today. Alright, let's just... There we go. It's not giving me the tangent. Alright. So this is how it's gonna have to be. You know what? Sure. Leave it like that. So there's that off. How did I allow that to happen? Okay, with that selected, this time around, I'm not messing it up. There we go. That's perfect. That is. How did I miss that little detail? Okay, yeah, that should do it. That should do it. Off. So I even forgot about that little detail. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna leave it as it was. We're just gonna leave it as it was. I'm not gonna. But we already made so much changes. No. You know what? I'm just gonna go back. I'm just gonna go back. Crikey. like unbelievable. How did I not see that happening sooner? Like, okay, the most I can, it's still a slippery slope no matter what I do. Alright, you know what? Screw it. Just gonna add a little bit material there. And I'm just gonna add that piece in. And whatever happens here happens. You know what? Sure, not. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I'm kinda done with this. Alright, join for certain parts and trim for others. Join there. Yeah, that's joint. That's 100% joint as it should be. And there we go. What? And that's it. So now we have pretty much all of the joints in quotation marks, that is, because this is still nowhere near being finished. This is only halfway. We're only halfway through to this. That being said, we did much more than I was expecting. Technically, not really. You know what? Yeah, we did more than what I was expecting originally. So we're gonna leave it here for now. Close up here so I don't forget. Control S, and we are pretty much done for today. Alright then.